What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the Darkest Hour. This is episode 24, featuring Orlanthi and Uberkist. Yeah. What up, everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Aloha. Aloha.
Hello. What's going on?
It's going
good.
I think are we doing a podcast right now?
We're doing
what's a podcast?
Well,
you just missed it. Orlanthi gave us his real voice.
Yeah, we heard his real voice
for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, the masker's off. We actually just saw his cam on. We saw his face. He's very handsome, and then it cut out.
Sorry, guys. Personally, I blame the IRS.
That's an easy blame.
Taxes?
I don't know if Kist ever told you guys this, but like when I paid him for editing on YouTube, I made sure to tell the IRS because I'm so scared of them. I'm so scared of them coming. Like,
I've been audited before. I've been audited once, and it was extremely stressful. And
I don't want to go through that.
It was really bad.
You're scaring me. This isn't supposed to be real. I don't have to pay taxes. This is supposed to be an easy thing.
It literally, I just figured it out after a year and a half. Like, I had a dude I had to hire to help me out. It was like a year and a half process. It just ended like 7 months ago too. It was really bad.
A year and a half?
A year and a half.
That doesn't sound fun to me. I don't know why, but that doesn't sound fun to me.
It was extremely stressful. I had to constantly like update this shit and talk to this guy. And just getting an answer from the IRS is extremely hard. And they ended up owing me money at the end. They owed me money.
Wow.
That's a W, right?
It was a W, but I have more gray hairs on my head now because of this. But I got like a $600 at the end of the whole thing.
Those are coming anyways.
I got my first gray when I was 21.
To hire the guy to do all this nonsense for you?
It was like $600.
Broke even.
Yeah, I broke even.
A nice roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I didn't have a man in a suit knock on my door. That's all that matters. So
you aged like a couple years with that one experience, so
it honestly was extremely stressful. I don't recommend anyone go through that. Pay your taxes, do your shit properly. Trust me, you don't want to go through it. I made the big mistake.
Pay no taxes. Collect government money.
See, I made the mistake of being a full-time streamer and not paying my taxes properly back in 2012. And I made a bunch of money and I did not save enough. And I was paying back taxes for like the next 2 years, like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Yep.
All right. Well, apparently I got to take this a bit more seriously than I thought I was.
Save enough.
Taxes, yes,
save 40%. Save 40%. Just make sure you're good to go. And then if you have thousands of dollars left over after you pay your tax bill, fucking buy a new PC, go on vacation, Save the money. Trust me.
Honestly.
The contractor's curses.
I didn't make enough to have to file to the IRS, so I'm quite happy about that.
You're like, I made so little money the government didn't care. I'm very happy about that. Yes, that's a good thing, actually. Yes.
Like, I was just under what I was worried about. Like, if it got closer, I would have been very worried. Like, oh fuck, are they coming for me? Am I next?
It's
certainly a line.
It's pretty random. If you make a mistake, they'll audit you, or they can randomly just audit whoever. But if it's someone more low income, they typically are like, leave that poor person alone. Fuck it. Let them go. they
How
How soon do they come after you?
Say again?
How soon do they come after you? Like after tax season or something?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Shit.
They'll find you eventually. They're coming. You don't know when.
You don't know when, that's true, but with my case, it was like 4 weeks after tax season was done.
Oh, I'm good.
They were on the ball with me.
Through the grace period?
Yeah, I had a month of relief, and then nope. But I do want to say, Uberkist and Orlanthi, thank you for joining us tonight. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you gentlemen here. You guys are like the Tom and Jerry of the Cheech and Chong of Dark and Darker, a dynamic duo. I know you guys play with other people as well, but
you're forgetting Zanzibar's and
that's our beautiful trio who would have definitely made this too many cooks in the kitchen.
I know. I was gonna say, I know you guys have I know you have your full squad and you play with a couple people, but a lot of people they see Orlanthi coming down the hallway with Cinder and Uberkist sprinting behind him. And then that's what a lot of people know of. But yes, I know you guys have a couple of other killers you play with. But thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come on. I've watched these things every couple of weeks when I got the opportunity, and it's always fun seeing you guys chat with the other creators about how they've come to be and what they think about the game.
Awesome.
Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't even watched a single one because I don't watch Dark and Darker content. I'm not trying to get withdrawals again. I just got over them. Like,
it's probably
It's
smart.
overwhelming.
that itch.
You don't want to burn out at any point, so I can understand that. After watching 48 hours of editing through content and stuff, the last thing I want to see sometimes is a Dark and Darker clip.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah,
You watch your own though.
I don't watch my own. I'm too.
Orlanthi never watches ours, which always breaks my heart because I put so much work into them. But I'll go back and watch my own.
I watch them in like the background on like 0.25 speed for like a solid week, and then I don't watch them ever again.
Just scamming me.
What's wrong with you, dude?
Just to get the view time up, like the crazy view time.
Oh,
Interesting.
You're disgusting.
Wow.
Scum.
Someone had to say it. Shit.
That is hilarious. We're off to a great start with this episode. We've already called you guys crazy and mentally ill and looked at you guys like you were nuts. I love this.
That's pretty much accurate.
That's dad players in 3 words.
I mean, you're talking about a group of guys that have come together to play a game that is, as of right now, in legal hell and no release window in sight. And we are doing a weekly podcast about said game. So
It's a hard
mental illness kind of runs in the channel right now.
Everyone you see here is a poster child. This is just different printouts of posters of mentally ill people. Absolutely.
Get some help.
Yeah.
Go outside. Touch grass.
Stop it. Get some help. Guys, did you become content creators because of Dark and Darker? Or were you already creating content and making YouTube videos and streaming? Or was Dark and Darker just the light shined down from the heavens? You're like, this is it. This is what I gotta make content around. And you guys just went for it with Dad? Or what's kind of your content creation history, if I may?
A little Orlanthi explained his Twitch history prior to me going into how the YouTube got started.
I think your YouTube story is going to be way more interesting though compared to like my
All right, Jim.
Twitch.
Fair enough.
No, you
fair
hang
enough.
up first. Okay, no, you.
Oh.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean,
Philly.
basically, me and Orlanthi, we met with Expedition Agartha, and we realized that we were a pretty solid team prior to that. And I'd say that's kind of where Orlanthi started streaming. I'm not entirely sure if he was streaming prior to Expedition Agartha, but it seemed like he was hitting, like the general like 10, 20, 30 viewers at a time, which is like a nice small community. And at that point, I kind of realized that me, him, and Zanzibars, who is a third that I've been playing games with for 3-4 years now, we kind of realized that we've got some pretty good team unity when it comes to these sorts of extraction games. Having played with James for like 4 years on Tarkov prior to that, and Orlanthi now with like Expedition Agartha was where we met. But then we immediately went into Dark and Darker's Playtest 2 together as kind of our first real test of metal as to how we were going to operate as a team. And we did like a couple 48-hour streams during, I think just one 48-hour stream and then maybe a 24 after that of just grinding out lobbies, killing, like we would each just go different directions and kill the whole lobby and meet at the end, call it a day. But that was back when there was no high roller. So it was really just like complete Wild West in terms of SBMM. So, but, now it's a bit more of like the greats have to fight the greats. So it's a bit less easy to farm content, but I'd say prior to that, that's kind of where we noticed our ability to make something was just us being able to run around a map and do well in that game.
Honestly, I think we had like more competition against each other. Like that's literally like how we all died. Me and Kiss would run away from each other just trying to kill the lobby.
It was always a competition of which one of us would
That's
get
one
more
way
kills.
to do it.
Nice.
But then once free came by, we actually had to kind of buckle down with the high rollers. Now that everyone's like people who know how to play the game are fighting each other, it's the squad components start to come more into play, which is kind of what we've been shining through. Like Overwatch kind of taught us a lot of like how to operate as a team together prior to that. And we brought that sort of use, knowing when to utilize your abilities rather than having like god tier aim or whatever, which you can't even really have in Dark and Darker. And I'd say that's a big part of the appeal. So you're not getting one tapped from across the map.
I
Absolutely
love that fact about it. Like, could not be better for me that way.
Are you good at
You guys
shooters?
don't play Wizard.
I'm okay at shooters. I don't like playing them though because they get repetitive to me.
Yeah, and
I have to drag them into them.
What'd you say about Wizard, Jay?
Oh, they're talking about never getting one tap. That's how I know they've never played Wizard.
Yeah. They actually play a good class. That's weird.
Playing Rogue, I definitely got myself one tapped a few times.
Oh, okay. Well, you one tap as well.
You know, I say that, but the patch where the barbarians, I forget the first patch where barbarians, the first patch where they were busted. Yeah, I got one tapped by several barbarians in full plate as a fighter. So
it doesn't feel good.
No.
Watching Narek wipe lobbies with his barbarian, that was a brutal playtest.
You get 100 to 0 in full plate. So. One barbarian.
Yeah.
You get head tapped with like that special perk setup or something. I forget.
The armor pen one, yeah.
There was a
and they
lot.
could use like their special strike and head tap you one time. Dead.
Yep.
So you guys would say that playing games together before Playtest 2 and obviously Playtest 3 dropped, like Overwatch kind of was your training camp, and going into Dark and Dark, you guys just gelled well already, and that's why you guys were able to garner so much power and skill so quickly. And I guess you guys just felt like the game was just a good fit for you guys. Did you just take to it instantaneously, or how was like the first initial delving into Playtest 2? Did you get your ass kicked by the first skeleton you met in the first room, like 75% of the players or whatever, or did you just instantly start killing it?
So most of the time I like to play really carefully. So the first thing I did was try and figure out the attack patterns, like literally first raid while they were trying to clear the room. And I was just trying to figure out how to do the attack patterns. So the second room we did, I just started like killing them, and they were like, Orlanthi, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm looting. But where are the skeletons? I'm looting. And it just continued like that eventually, and they like saw how I fought them, I think, or they just were too smart and learned themselves. And I don't think we died to a skeleton in like our first free raids playing together.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like, I didn't die to a skeleton. I remember getting stuck in one of those trapdoor rooms.
Yep. I clearly remember that one. That one was fun to watch.
Yes.
And
I'd say just like,
door room.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Agartha coming from Agartha really is just like, we knew we wanted a game just like Dark and Darker, and Agartha died so fast compared to we were a little bit afraid that's what was going to happen with Playtest 2, just having seen what the genre is not really open to this kind of thing, but maybe it was just the menu time coming from that other game. But it's really just having that prior experience.
That makes sense. So how did you guys discover that? I mean, did you guys play a bunch of other classes, or when did you know that Fighter and Cleric were like your mains and that you guys were just fucking monsters with those classes? Did you experiment a lot? Did you like Barbarian at first, or maybe Wizard or Rogue? And like what was the journey like finding your main, I suppose?
So I kind of just picked Fighter because I like being tanky in games. Like, I like having high HP and being able to do high damage. I don't care if my hit model's bigger. It's just fun. Like, I love absorbing hits and protecting my teammates while getting kills. And Kist loves Rogue. That's his baby. I kind of forced him to become a cleric.
Well, it's a physical healing. It was so broken, busted on the second play test. It accounted for every single tick, and it gave you a whatever your bonus was on top of that tick for the healing potion. And that just let Rogue become a frontliner and just an absolute tank that's unkillable. And once that got a bit nerfed and weak point got taken from 100% to 50%, being a frontline rogue is not really even a thing anymore, in my humble opinion. So I usually play Phil. Before this one, I played Mage a bit, just because I think we needed that ranged DPS. That was kind of a hole in our composition. And when we run Cleric, it's still a hole in our composition. Ranged is a big liability for us. But running two Clerics, just when Orlanthi yells "Uber me doctor," and both of us are hitting him with lesser heals, he's not killable. He's literally not killable. So it's kind of just like a composition difference at that point. But wizards will check us so hard. And shout out to dying with pulverizing prayer to a wizard.
Oof. Yeah.
A lot of people also don't realize that you can block like direct hit spells with shields or the Pavis, and like the Pavis entirely covers you. So I can just push wizards with my Pavis out, and it gives them a scary like, how is he still alive? But the AoE still hits, which is kind of dumb. I think they should fix it, but that's a future problem.
Can you block a full missile cast with a Pavis? I've never seen that before.
You can, but the AoE does damage to you still.
Okay.
So like the direct hit
works just like a normal shield.
Did you know Pavis can block cave troll hits?
I didn't really fight the cave troll.
Yeah, you can go into goblin caves with a Pavis and whatever your main weapon is, and whenever he comes to slam on you, you just toss that fucking shield out, and it actually blocks the hit. You don't take any damage. Pretty fucking crazy.
I like to think that every single Pavis change has been because of me. Like,
I mean, you can stand on it to avoid the Ghost King's jump, from what I understand. That's another nice.
You can.
Really?
Yeah.
That one.
Whoa.
It's for the noobs who can't do the jump. He says, "Stand here and don't die."
To be fair, the jump is poorly telegraphed. Let's be real.
Yeah, and the ping difference. The ping difference can make or break you, which is why we don't like to do it.
I am like petrified of the ping difference, because if I'm streaming and I even have like 1 extra millisecond of delay on my end because of it, I'll just mess up the timing, which I'm really worried about. I have the timing down. I understand how the attacks work. I understand all the mechanics. It's just I don't like having that extra factor of risk.
That makes sense. I feel like Ghost King is definitely harder than the Lich, and they have the same drop rates, the same sort of loot pool.
I'm pretty sure Ghost King's better though.
Is it that really? They have a better loot pool?
I genuinely think so, because Latex and Nevix and all of them have gotten way more artifacts compared to us with just Lich.
What was that, Kist? What'd you say?
The only one we've ever gotten was Kuma Claw, compared to Lindstrom and Nevix's just insane capacity to generate uniques. It seems like they get one every hour or so.
Whoa.
That's where we usually get our uniques from. Don't tell people. But.
Okay, we won't tell anyone.
Normally trade them some like really high stuff.
How does a guy get a Cinder? You guys seem to have some sort of innate ability to continue to get this pole arm. So how the fuck does a guy get a Cinder? I've just started my patch. How do I play? How do I get a Cinder?
How do you get it? I recommend forming a free man with some buddies of yours. One cleric, one doesn't really matter what else, but another cleric if you're new is probably better. You want to make sure that you have cleanse or a bunch of heals. Because
and you just farm high roller bosses or regular bosses? High roller?
High roller. Yeah. So you want to fight the regular bosses like first, just so you get good gear, and then you bring that to high roller. Like that was our plan for the start of last wipe, was to go kill the bosses in normal, farm really good gear for like the first couple hours, then go high roller when we're level 20 and like full legendaries. And then we would just dominate every lobby, but that didn't go how it went because it was like torrenting.
Yeah.
So do you? Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I could barely play the first 3 days. It was the rubber was so bad.
I didn't really play like the first 2 days because of the stack where you could accidentally stack the perks by just switching your weapons. Like getting plugged. Oh, so for fighter.
Yeah, what?
Like being without like plate armor, every time you equipped your weapon, it would add +5. So
what?
These degenerates decided to do that until they had like +200, and they would one tap everything. And I was like, I'm not gonna play with that bug. I'm not gonna try and expose that bug to people. And I was like, I'm just gonna sleep. That's a future problem. I hope they
testing's for.
Go to bed.
That's what testing's for. No, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's fucking crazy.
It also worked with Trickster, believe it or not, for the rogue. which was even worse because that gave +2 stat every time you equipped your weapon.
You didn't see that, Soma?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see the people with like 300 all stats? Oh,
I didn't see it. No.
damn.
I guess
It was like
I
super
missed
bad
it.
on first. Really on like the second day, I think it was.
I honestly though,
I've been overshadowed by Death Plateau or whatever, Death Swarm.
yeah,
True.
So this last playtest, the first couple of days, half my family was fucking visiting, and they didn't. If you guys remember this, they randomly surprised me with a visit, and it just so fucking happened to be when the playtest was starting. Which
Honestly,
I love my family. It was so good to hang out with them. It was great, but I barely got to play. And when I did get on, like late at night, I'd like go outside in the backyard and like smoke a joint. I'd be all baked out, everyone's asleep, and I'd try to play. But I was rubber banding so bad and having such a hard time even operating my character properly in a raid that it was too tough to play. And I missed a lot of half the play test. So I didn't see those bugs. That's crazy.
You were lucky.
Wow. Yeah,
you were lucky.
Yeah, there was some OP stuff last playtest. They definitely it's like they break the game the same way every time. Every time they add something new, whatever if it's like something over time, they're always gonna make whatever buffs that additive per tick rather than throughout the entire duration. Like they've broken physical healing like that. They broke there's more. I can't remember exactly though. Poison. Poison on Rogue was broken like that. Physical. Some of them are like Rupture is still broken like that in terms of physical healing, but don't tell people. Rogue doesn't need any more nerfs. I mean, maybe they do with double jump, but
Bro, double jump is so dumb. You could
You guys aren't a fan, huh?
No.
it's fun for rogues.
Not my idea of fun having a rogue like just jump away from fights, because in case you didn't know, the jumps give a slight speed boost, like depending on which angle you jump in, so they could always run away. The only way I was able to kill Mr. Fear over and over and over again was because I decided to go invisible. I would drink an invisibility pot,
Matt, that was
wait for him to chase, and then I would just surprise them with like a headshot when they're trying to chase Kist or Apollo.
You gotta outrogue the rogue. It's the only way.
Like no one expects a fighter to go invisible.
People sleep on invis pots. They're amazing. Yeah, pretty much fighting fire with fire. Invisibility pots are so fucking fun. When you are a solo barb with a big ass fucking axe in your hand and you go invisible and a fucking derpy trio comes, barefoot slapping into a fucking room, and you just watch them loot and then you just start chopping them from behind one by one. It is so satisfying. I'm sure it's even more satisfying with Cinder.
I didn't know you were that sadistic, but okay.
It was with Cinder at the time.
Yeah.
It was with Cinder. When we got Matt, like I was honestly so happy to kill Matt because
he was such a good rogue too. He was harassing our group it was like the first time I've really seen a solo rogue just almost dismantle a pretty good trio just from being able to hit us with that hand crossbow and disengage so quickly. Like we were really like just in fear, being like, we need to hug Orlanthi. We need to hug Orlanthi. Like if one of us gets peeled, it's over.
Yeah. Do you think a rogue with a really strong hand crossbow, the perfect perks and kit, with a skilled player with Viola, especially the rapier, do you think they would be just unstoppable potentially?
So one of the scary thoughts that I really haven't wanted to think about is if the hand crossbow can be used with Viola. I have no idea, but if it can,
it can.
I'm sure it can.
Wait, it can?
Yeah.
I bet they would never die.
That's the no, thing. That would be unstoppable because frostbite, the effect, it slows you down and it slows down your attack. You're dead. You're not running away.
You get hit a couple times and then you're just getting shot in the head, and then they're gonna peel off you and then just keep doing it.
It's already too late if they hit you once, because that frostbite effect is just brutal. If they've teammates as well, you're already dead. Like you won't be able to swing back.
Yeah, there's a video of a guy, I can't remember his name, my apologies, but we played the video like a few episodes ago, but he takes on the cave troll with Viola. And when he hits the cave troll once, the cave troll is really slow. He can barely swing his club. And he just decimates him like he's some regular goblin. It was insane. Yeah. It was insane to watch. They're probably going to tune that a little bit, I'd have to imagine.
Infinite purples. Sounds like a pretty good way to farm.
Okay, honestly, go ahead. Sorry.
I had a buddy who just simply enjoyed hunting the cave troll and selling the cave blood, like the cave troll's blood, because it was so profitable.
I'm sure, yeah.
How much does it sell for in the market?
It really depends, but a lot of people would buy it for like 400 because they didn't really know how to use it, but it was just like really good.
Yeah. I got like 10 for free. I don't know that much.
Jesus.
It really depends on the market at the time, but like that, like passive regen is really good.
You're going to a big fight or what?
If you're like in the storm and you're expecting to run into people on your way back in, it basically keeps you at full HP the entire time you're heading there, so you don't have to like pre-pot before you go into the fight. You're already full. Like, it's not going to give away your location by drinking it during the storm. It's just so helpful.
Interesting.
Fair.
So I gotta ask. I know we've already asked about Cinder, but I just gotta ask: what does it feel like to hold that fucking thing and swing it into someone? Like, do you just feel like a goddamn digital god? Describe it slowly.
Breathe on my neck.
Yeah, breathe hard into the mic.
I just think it's really fun to use. Like, it's kind of satisfying though, seeing like how the fire animation works, because they catch on fire if you hit them. Like,
I know, it's fucking amazing.
It's a great feeling.
What about Fulgore? So if you got really good, you know Augie-san. Augie-san is an amazing longsword player. He has tutorials essentially on YouTube of him just showing you how to block pretty much every mob, even bosses, and all the different weapons in the game, and how to just slaughter other players 1v3 with a longsword. If you were nearly as skilled as him and you could land those parries and ripostes with longsword, would you rather be strutting around with your Cinder, or would you switch to Fulgore just because that parry and riposte is so fucking amazing in the game?
I would still stick with Cinder. I genuinely
Nice.
like Cinder's range.
The range is incredible. It's so fucking nuts.
I know
the width of the swing though fucks you up a little bit. Like how wide you swing that fucking thing.
Not me.
You never hit a wall or anything like that?
So if you're one of my clerics, you have seen the way I play. I am like in a jungle gym every time I play. Like, I am tossing and turning. Like,
so you swing your mouse just in time so you're not hitting the walls next to you and shit like that.
Oh, I have a completely different play style like than most people when I like use the halberd, because I'm hitting every hit once or twice on the same person.
Right.
Like in a single swing. So it's just
great. I see what
cool.
you're saying. Yeah, there's a guy named Stonar who's a cleric, and he loves the Warmaul. He loves buffing himself up with Warmaul, and then he'll get surrounded by 3 people, and as he swings his Warmaul, he 360s with his mouse, and he can hit the same fucking person with one swing 2 or 3 times and whirlwind through an entire trio.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Personally, the one time I used a Warmaul was not by choice, but I still got 2 kills with it.
Yeah, you can accelerate and drag that thing insane.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Kist, what about Pulverizing Prayer? That looks very fucking satisfying. It destroys damage reduction fighters. How is it using that? And do you think the defense reduction, the Sunder effect essentially, do you think it has a good effect against bosses as well? Did it help a lot with like Lich or Ghostkin?
Oh yeah. I'd say it's, out of all the uniques, it's the perfect support unique. Like if you're gonna be like a support DPS type, I would say that's the best one. It might even be the best one, period. Because after that, or when you hit somebody 3-4 times, you can make their armor go into the negatives, which it doesn't just end at 0. You can make them take multiplicative damage past what they normally would, even at 0. So I think when the biggest swing we ever got was when I knocked the dummy down a shitload, and Orlanthi knocked it in the head for like 250, 280 or something. So I think that's one-hitting everybody in the game, basically. Like, there's not a soul that's going to survive that. But getting hit 3-4 times with the Pulverizing Prayer in the first place is already going to kill you.
I think the highest damage we got with it was like 480, in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm honestly forgetting the numbers, but the one we have on footage is like 300-ish.
That's just fucking gross. That's too crazy, I think. That's almost too insane.
Well, he has to land his hits
Yeah, exactly. Once you've already hit them this many times, they're already gonna die. And if you had any of the other uniques, they'd be dead on the first searing rather than the fourth. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of a win more button rather than something that's actually super useful. But when you're fighting, like I remember a guy in Ruby Silver who must have been that guy to everybody else because he came charging at us without his team. He didn't give a shit. And I
Right.
bopped him over the head twice with that pulverizing prayer, and he collapses. And I'm sure that man thought he was wearing like the tank incarnate armor. So it seems like it just shuts down any melee-oriented class.
Yeah, it seems quite fun to use. They all, I mean, all the named items, the unique items seem really fun. Did you ever use Aegis?
Nevix did, and I actually saw. I was editing a video for Nevix. He's like a competitive Overwatch player who is the guy who actually gets all of our uniques for the most part. His group, Lindstrom and Depress, they're pretty good folks. And he was using the Aegis to reflect. The only time I've ever seen anyone ever use it successfully to reflect anything was him using it to reflect a magic missile back at a wizard and successfully killing him, which is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
So
Seems
cool.
like it takes. You got to be Giga Brain in order to do it, and then hit him with it for the first part because it's not like you have to aim it back, if you know what I mean. Like it's not just like a 1-to-1 ricochet.
That's interesting. Yeah, I did see a video of a cleric or a fighter. I can't remember which.
So bad, strange.
Was it so bad? He reflects a fireball back to the wizard. It one shots the wizard.
Yep.
Oh my fucking god! It was so cool to watch. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. If you guys have experienced a lot of the unique items and gear, what weapon or armor or whatever would you like to see be the next unique item in the game, and what sort of, I don't know if you guys have like theory crafted when you're like bored on Discord together, but if you've thought about this, what would you like to see be another unique, and what would you like to see be attached to that unique? What kind of effect? Question for both of you, gentlemen.
I mean, personally, I'd like to see a spellbook unique. When I was playing Wizard, I felt like I got a little bit left out. I didn't get we were never even hoping for a unique for me. So, maybe we can change that up. I don't really know what it would do. I mean, Ken suggested just have a whole extra spell slot. That's a really cool suggestion.
I like that suggestion, and then slowly regaining spell slots, like if you're hitting the G key to sit down, like you know how slow that regeneration is. I think if that effect was pretty much always on, if you're holding that spell book, that could be sick too.
That would be incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
that's dangerous. Because
cool.
once when I was playing cleric and I got the ability to just sit down and get all my stuff back, I don't think it's far fetched to say cleric's the best class in the game.
It probably is, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, like it's always been.
They suffer from range, but Jay, you're right. I mean, they've always kind of been extremely powerful if played right. Range is an issue with them, but you can buff ball and slap on a quarterstaff with the Brewmaster perk or whatever and fucking tap motherfuckers out so fast. And if you have two other clerics too, it just seems insane to me. Same question for you, Orlanthi. What unique would you like to see in the game if you could craft your own?
First, going back to when we were talking about pulverizing prayer, one thing Kiss forgot is it is best in slot for fighting bosses.
Okay,
yes,
yeah, so
really? We killed it fastest ever. Yeah. I think it was a 20-second kill with pulverizing prayer.
Which Lich or Ghost?
Lich. We only ever fight Lich. We were too pussy to fight Ghost King with all these uniques.
Honestly, I don't blame you. Like whenever the game comes back, if it ever does, I want to be a Lich farmer. Ghost King just seems like there's too many ways to fuck it up. The jump, if there's any sort of rubber banding, it's not worth it. But Lich seems pretty fucking easy.
Like he gives the suck to somebody, and both of the other people who aren't getting the suck have to go catch him, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. So unique item, Orlanthi. What do you think?
Now, I know a lot of people would probably expect me to say Pavis here. I mean, I did have an idea for unique Pavis, like where.
Let's hear this. Okay.
Where like give him immortality, but it was like a debt for time, so you would have to play gold coins equivalent to how much damage you would take while you had it out. So like it could be really good if you like were having to get out of a map.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, restart. So what do you mean?
Interesting.
So like you would be borrowing health. And essentially, you wouldn't be able to
gold coins on you.
No. It would just once you use it and get out of raid, however much damage you received while you had it out, you have to pay it before you can get rid of it out of your inventory. So it's
Sounds
basically
like only one person could really
Yeah.
use it. I wonder who
That seems like it's
is.
handcrafted to you only. This fucking guy.
I need a gold snake, and I need a big one.
You know,
I
like
need a
in
gold.
class when there's no bad questions. There are bad items in this podcast. I think that might be the first one.
No, we've all had some bad
I'm
items.
playing.
We've all had some bad fucking unique ideas.
no,
I've
but,
had
like,
several.
But tell it,
What-
what's your dream? What's your dream item? That's not up a beast.
It's probably an armor set. Like,
Oh,
I
a
would,
full-on
Okay.
set, yeah.
yeah, I would
Pretty cool.
love to have like an armor set specifically designed, like fancy gold and black, like really
Oh.
shiny, like really pizzazzed.
What would the
And-
stat like? What would the unique effect be? And would you only get the unique effect if you have the entire set, or would each
So, like-
piece have its own thing?
like each set, like, so if you have one of the items, it's not going to do anything.
Okay.
If you have two of the items, it's going to have one set effect.
Okay.
If you have four, one set effect. If you have six,
Oh,
one
okay.
set effect.
Yeah.
So like it
Pretty good
incentivizes
one.
you to getting more of the set.
Like Diablo
more
2.
grinding.
Like Diablo 2. Yeah.
I never
Essentially.
played Diablo 2.
Yeah, so there'd be a set, and let's say there's 4 pieces of gear attached to the set. If you put on one, it's whatever. But if you put on 2, you get like a minor set bonus. You get more health, or you move faster, or you have more resistances. If you put on a third piece, you get like another cool effect. Maybe it's you fucking do lightning damage with every sword strike. But if you put the whole fucking thing on, there's always going to be one piece that's ridiculously hard to find, of course. But if you
Right.
find that last piece that's really hard, you get all those other effects and then some crazy, awesome Uber effect or two that brings the whole set together. I agree. We've talked about sets before. I think it makes a lot of sense to have sets. I think getting a full Cobalt or Ruby Silver set should give you something. If you have if you take the time to mine all those ingots and you fucking make the Ruby Silver set and you have Ruby Silver on everything, you should get something.
Yeah.
You should,
Right.
I think.
But like, so the like status effect, I feel like for that armor, like you could like have like a skull face on it and have it be like Hades, like based off of Hades, because I don't know if you guys know the lore or like really went into lore. I love lore. I love
I'm a lore
everything
nerd
about
too. Yeah.
So
I like
like,
Fiddle.
so you also noticed how like the names of the artifacts were based off of Roman/Greek descent.
Totally
I
noticeable.
didn't.
Oh, yeah,
They did,
totally.
like Aegis. I believe it was by Hera.
Let me
Like-
see.
It was meant to reflect like Medusa's head, I think is what it was in mythology, but with its own like
Huh.
slight twists and turns. Or like, you
Okay. Yeah. Aegis was so this is part of Greek mythology actually, yeah.
yeah, Roman or Greek. And
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
if you notice the spider pots, they looked like they were from Carthagena or
Interesting.
Egypt or Greek. It's among those ancient civilizations.
That's cool.
So I feel like we can expect stuff when the game comes back to be based off of like Roman, Greek, Carthaginian, all that stuff.
That's actually really important to bring up, and I didn't really think about that. And now, you just now saying that is going to open up a bunch of nerds who might listen to this into looking into Greek mythology and famous items in mythology that people wielded
Oh
or
my.
utilized. Seriously though, I'm about to go down a rabbit hole because I read Edith Hamilton's mythology in high school and fucking loved it and thought it was amazing, but I didn't really put it together that some of these items were attached to Greek mythology. That's really cool.
Like it also like brings up the point about like the mobs. Like what have we seen? We've seen Fays, we've seen undead warriors, we've seen minotaurs, we've seen centaurs, we've seen trolls with giant clubs. Like
So
Spider
this is a Dungeons and Dragons inspired game, but also Greek mythology mixed in. That's fucking amazing.
but also like a bunch of other mythologies. It seems like the
Norse.
patterns. I
Oh, we're talking
went
about
a little
patterns now. How deep were we getting?
I went a
I
little
gotta
bit
get
crazy.
tinfoil.
I literally went a little bit crazy for a while. I
you
was
believe-
literally trying to
This
compare.
is the same guy. Says
I
he
was
doesn't
tr-
watch YouTube content because he doesn't want
Yeah,
to
it's
relapse.
down
So
a
he's out here
actual
digging
rabbit
through
hole.
Greek
Wait,
mythology.
wait. Hold on. You don't watch YouTube content because you don't want to relapse. Oh, wait. Talking about his
Or
need
get
for
with
the game.
drugs.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I was like, what? Oh, there's a YouTube addiction?
So for a while to try and figure out what would be in the first floor, because
Yeah.
Kiss knows that I literally found the cave troll before the
Yeah.
cave troll was announced, because I was digging so deep.
Yeah,
I was
leaked content.
I was going through like what
You-
basis.
Data mining?
No.
Wait, how did you find it? What do you
Okay.
mean then? What do you mean?
So what I would do is I would try and find similar stuff, click on what's similar, who made it, what kind of stuff they made, to try and find similar artists who made the
Are you
same
talking
thing.
about the assets on the Unreal store?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
I see.
Okay.
I
So you would
went
find assets they made, and then you would find similar things made by similar artists.
yes.
That's some internet
One of
sleuthing
them
right
just so
there.
happened to have made the goblin, the cave goblin.
Interesting.
So do they? Okay, so I guess you've probably done a little bit more research on this. How much of the game is bot assets? Is it like the entire game?
No.
100%. I'm pretty sure.
It's not an entire game. I know that like
Probably vast majority.
they do
I
buy
would guess.
a lot of assets, but they tweak them to their own
Mhm.
specific needs. Like, so they're buying the blueprints, then they're changing the blueprints to fit what they need it for.
Are they buying the blueprints or dub blueprints? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What?
But like,
He said the blueprints. He said they're buying the blueprints.
They buy the blueprint.
He's like, Annie, he's going Jar Jar on us.
but like,
I'm sorry.
they're getting like the basic, and then they expand on it, adding stuff, making it better, making the models better, making the attack animations better, so that they don't clip as much.
Animations are the
okay.
biggest thing. You just nailed it right there with animations. The reason why pretty much any of these clones that are coming after Dark and Darker, the reason why they will not succeed like Dark and Darker has is because a lot of development time, at least what I've heard and what I've kind of noticed, is going into custom animations, custom combat animations, custom swings. If you look at all the clones, they're using out of the box, out of the marketplace animations, and that's why everything's floaty and shitty and looks like crap and doesn't look like it's fun at all. The Dark and Darker devs, the Iron Mace team, they have spent months and months and months on every single item that you can use, that you can swing, that you can open, and they have done an amazing job customizing it for their own game. And if you're just a few guys or a solo dude trying to capitalize off of some Dark and Darker type gold rush, you're not going to be able. Your mining pick won't be nearly as strong as Iron Mace's, because they don't have the time and effort and skill to handcraft animations like that. And I think Iron Mace will stay on top, and Dark and Darker, if it comes out, will crush it because of that sort of time and effort that's been put into animations. And I see you, Julian, in chat. Don't be sad. Don't be sad.
So another thing a lot of people did not realize, so like in the last playtest, they couldn't really change much about like the candy, the bonus candy that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
But every single time besides the last one, the trader has had a voice or a line, a different line written.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of interconnect in their own silly little way to the game and the lore.
Oh, okay.
So it's just so interesting once you start digging. You keep finding more, and you're like, wait a minute,
right now.
wait a minute.
Real life coordinates. Where are they? I'll dig things.
Like
Be like a toy
another
company.
thing is like, so for the cave troll reveal, Iron Mace went out of their way to have a person interaction thing, which we know Iron Mace wants to do again. Like, they genuinely want to. It's just a court case that was just slowing them down. Like, God, what the fuck, Nexon?
Yeah, fuck.
You ruined your reputation.
Fun detected,
making
dude.
it
Hold
worse.
on.
Fun
the
detected.
reputation was like
bad already.
Anime waifu games and stuff like that.
Maple Story.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Which Maple
it's just-
Story?
They just like they were like
Tried their rep.
they were under the radar though.
That's
Like,
kind of
they
true.
were-
That's true.
They almost got away with it.
They were completely under the radar.
I think
And-
they're of the opinion no publicity is bad publicity. You know what I mean? I don't really think they give a fuck. If anything, I don't think this has hurt their business.
I think maybe it has affected it in a minor way in the West, but Western audiences and gamers already kind of don't give a fuck about Nexon games anyway. So to them, they're probably just
Their Google search interest like 30x over the last 5 years in like a 1 month span.
Oof.
Bro, I feel so bad for
They're
security.
popping.
The guy who I was like staying up all night against, like during I think February's playtest. Yeah, Sakaki. He said it was okay for me to call him security because it's easier for pronunciation. But
Okay.
me and him were going like head and head that entire playtest, and I was looking forward to like going 1v1 again, like that Luke Goblin PvP. But because he's in Korea, he couldn't play. Like, so I'm sure that like some of the best players who would have been on the leaderboard this time around were not able to because of regional issues.
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Because they didn't do the torrented one in Korea, right?
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Interesting.
had to like VPN if you're in Korea to play it at all.
And then your ping would be shit.
So speaking of
You wouldn't jump the Ghost King. You'd fuck that up.
yeah, exactly.
Ghost Kings.
So speaking of Nexon on the case and all that shit, we don't have to cover too much because at this point it's just a headache. But we ask everyone this, including ourselves, almost every week. If the game is going to come back, is it going to be EA, another playtest, and when is this going to be? I know it's all bullshit. We have no inside info. We're fucking huffing hopium right now, taking bong rips of fucking hopium. When is it coming, and what are we going to get? EA next month, a playtest in December. What do you guys feel?
Oh,
Even if it's just bullshit, what do you guys think? Jay's like tomorrow.
All right, Kiss can go first on this one. I need to go to the Veteran Adventure chat to see my like tinfoil hat theory.
To see if it's got any traction. I mean, honestly, I hope we get another playtest because I want them to really get everything like Warlock related and just the classes that they're finna add. I want them to all be where they need to be before we jump on into early access and make some sort of unrecoverable mistake. I've seen enough of these games like Agartha have an L of a release and then not recover ever.
Yeah,
To
the internet
potentially risk it for my favorite game. Like, I don't know. I'd rather just be sure we're ready when we go to EA.
The internet's brutal with first impressions, man. 100%. Yeah. People don't forget.
yeah, but this is like impression number 6.
Yeah, but it's a playtest, though. It's a playtest. Whenever you are taking money for the product, that's the impression people are gonna have. What am I actually paying for? And yeah, I mean, look at fucking the one game I've ever saw that I've seen that has recovered after botching it bad was No Man's Sky. Now fucking tons of people love that game. When that game launched, it got destroyed. People were pissed.
Oh, they got scammed for $60.
Yeah, a lot of people refunded it.
Fucking money.
What's the name of that
5
studio?
years, then it was like a good VR game.
Was it Hello Games? Is that the name of the studio? I think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like
Yes,
that.
they
They somehow recovered, and that just doesn't happen in gaming. It doesn't.
That was
happen.
impressive.
Yeah.
I was really.
They got
I'm
lucky.
totally on board with that
Speaking of
studio.
brutal
Just seeing
game
that.
launches. Well, what was the game with what was your group called again, Kiss? The
Where?
Nefarious.
Oh, the
Something.
Egregious 5 from
Yeah.
Ethereal. Speaking of totally botched launches, that's an MMO that was being somewhat advertised by like Asmongold from his Game Fest, and it immediately just tanked into the dirt. It's 10 players concurrent
Overhead
right
RuneScape
now.
like one?
Yeah, the overhead RuneScape one. Me and Ken, we were all in the guild, and we all got banned.
Sure.
What?
QAing too hard. Like we found a way to safe spot NPCs like RuneScape. The devs did not appreciate that and banned all of us.
Banned you? Holy shit!
Wow.
That game was DOA, and they're banning people for testing.
That dude, my first reaction was, bro, I don't think y'all can afford to ban a fifth-year player base right now.
Yeah,
that's fucking dumb. That's dumb. Did you give a date, Kist? Yeah.
I don't know. They say them saying like when was the last actual piece of information? Like something about end of July or end of June, and I'm seeing like this might be coming and going. It's all down to the court case. I don't think until that's solved we're going to be seeing much of anything.
At all. Until there's a true resolution, you don't think we're going to be playing?
Yeah, I could see like September maybe.
Wow. Okay. September.
I'm getting nervous. It was supposed to happen by now.
Okay, September. Right. Interesting. Okay. Orlanthi?
Get your tinfoil hats on. All right. So
Donnie?
my honest guess.
Donnie, put it on. Donnie, put on the tinfoil hat. Put it on.
Where's the tinfoil hat?
I don't have it around me.
Oh shit.
Wow.
He was wearing it on his other podcast.
All right.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's hear it.
I honestly think July 27th.
Oh.
There's a lot of reasons for it. So
okay.
It's divisible by 9, so it still would be like, by the 9.
What about the 7?
So it's 27. It's just divided by 9.
Yeah, but what about the 7 before the 27th?
Well, it's the 27th. Come on.
Yeah.
Of the 7th.
7th month.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. Remember.
Sorry, my autism wasn't tingling as hard.
The international and national holidays line up perfectly. Like for like a good release day, it would be good to give like the devs a little bit of time to make sure they were legal and clear after their first hearings. Like,
so you think 2.5 weeks from now, really? Wow.
I'm hoping so, but like it's on National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day. Just like because, in case you guys didn't know, in Korea they are forcefully conscripted in their adulthood if they have citizenship.
That's true.
So like, just great day if you're in Korea to relax and play games. It's also National Scotch Day, which I'm sure Spud Hunter would be off the rails for. It is National Scotch Day, and you're telling me he can't drink and play the game with the boys in chat.
I feel like Iron Mace is thinking about Spud Hunter and their release calendar. Like, fuck.
It's also National
Day.
Sleepyhead Day, which lines up perfectly with me.
That is just silly. National Sleepyhead Day.
It's
my birthday is the 29th of July, so if I could play Dark and Darker again during my birthday, I'd be a happy birthday boy. I'd feel birthday, man. I'd feel good.
Feels birthday, man. You guys are mentally ill. It's not coming out to the fall.
It's also Bagpipe Appreciation Day for the bard. So like, I'm sure we can all get along with that.
New bard instrument. I think you're calling it.
Yeah, you're
calling it.
It's bound to be. It's bound to be.
You know what, guys? Hey, 27th.
If it happens,
tag her in.
If it happens,
the third time we're tagging it in, or fourth or fifth? I lost count. I'm sorry.
We'll see. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna choose to believe.
You can choose to believe. Just like the last 4.
No. Yeah. I'm gonna choose to believe
because
it's my birthday's right then. I'm gonna choose to believe.
July 27th. Fuck no, dude. You kidding me?
Kiss, we a believer?
I mean, if I believe, that means that puts it squarely right inside of the Tarkov wipe, and who knows what happens if these games release simultaneously. And that could be a bit dubious.
Could you imagine?
Bro,
I'm gonna take Dark and Darker, obviously, but that'd be the first wipe I haven't played in years.
It says a lot about Dark and Darker.
How are you boys in Tarkov? Are y'all goobers in Tarkov too?
Orlanthi won't play Tarkov with me. I don't know. You're gonna have to convince him. But I got like 5,000 hours. That's what me and Orlanthi are squad.
Why not? I was pissed last time about the cheaters and getting disconnected while I was trying to stream the game. Like the servers were just horrible to me.
He was just getting Tarkov. You know how it goes.
I was getting horrendous Tarkov.
It's a feature. Come on.
I crashed 5 games in a row. Then I stopped my stream. Then I tried to play another 5 games. 3 cheaters, 2 disconnects. I was like, okay, that's enough
And that's
Tarkov.
my wife.
That's my
Yeah.
wife. I was not having fun.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
tough.
have fun with Tarkov either, man. I'm
I
also
played all these new
old,
ones,
so I'm bad at
Tarkov
shooters.
doesn't care.
Tarkov's sort of like that woman that has like a tramp stamp, and she smokes too many cigarettes, and she's not gonna take care of me, she's not gonna love me, but for a couple weeks we're gonna have a lot of fun together. And that's how I feel about Tarkov. So
man.
it does bad things to me. It steals my money and my time and frustrates me. It makes me very upset. But I keep coming back to it, at least for a little bit, every time it wipes.
You
So
keep clicking on it. Yeah.
It was ahead of its time, it's a gem for that reason.
that is one thing
Yeah,
about Tarkov is whenever you
for
play it
sure.
again now, the game feels fucking old. Like when
It
you
feels
play it,
so
you're just like,
old.
ugh.
After playing like Cycle and Star Siege and Dark and Darker, I'm like, okay, I'm glad to see that people are in this genre doing things better than these folks have. Like we're taking some lessons and we're applying them into the future.
Yeah, I don't like
No,
I don't
shit.
like battle state games. I don't like Tarkov, but they have definitely started something amazing with the extraction looter genre. So I mean, good on them for that. We gotta give them respect for that for sure. Before we move on to Q&A with chats, I have one question for you guys, and this is a selfish question because I don't really know how to do it, and I want to be more prepared for when the game comes back. But when you guys first start a playtest, you guys roll new characters. Obviously, you guys are trying to farm good gear immediately so you can go into high roller and dominate. Break it down, both of you, if you can. What is the best method to gear up and prep for normal bosses? And from there, what does the normal boss run look like on average? And then when do you know you're ready to go to high roller? Do you avoid PvP and go right for down portals to try to farm high roller bosses? Can you just walk us through what that looks like as soon as you're rolling new characters in a new playtest to get godly gear like you guys do, to boss run like you guys do? And I'm going to be taking notes.
I gotta pray my name's not taken. I really gotta pray my name's not taken.
Why are you saying that? You're not supposed
Yeah,
to
you
say
shouldn't
that,
say
dude.
that. Oh,
Now
no,
your shit's gonna get taken.
dude.
Every time I pray my name's not taken.
Now
And
this next playtest, you're going to be spelling Orlanthi with a 0.
last time they took my name. Last playtest, they took my name when I was like creating my like how they had to make you create an account. They took my name.
Yep.
And I had to go with Orlanthi. And because
no.
I was funny. I decided to have a 2-character password. And I was waiting for someone. I was waiting for someone to take it.
I was
He was trying to get his account stolen.
I low-key had a 2-character password, and the game didn't stop me from doing it.
Oh my god.
You're
Was it
giving up.
test?
You're
You
giving up
failed?
too much good juicy
you?
info for people.
I was
It was
having
like
fun.
Okay, were they numbers? Were they letters? Were they special
Yeah,
characters?
give us some details.
What was
here.
the
I'm
shape
trying
of the
to-
letter? What was the
I already
shape of
got
the
my
letter?
note for the notes out. Let me just go ahead and...
Yeah.
Alright.
What do these 2 letters look like? Do they look like A Z L
Sort of like a
K?
snake.
Yeah.
What if you describe him as an animal?
Was one like a circle?
Describe him as an animal. I can't do that. I don't think I can do that.
Wait, did your
Orlando,
brain
how do we
halfway
flip
through
hard?
that?
I did.
It was like animal, not 2D Japanese women.
Oh.
That's not what
I was thinking about aardvark, but you know what? You do you.
aardvark.
That is the animal I was
going
going to use to describe it.
Aardvark. Okay.
Oh, that's a Y
That's
all
one of
day.
the
Aaron.
characters. Okay,
Yeah.
the Y. Okay, one of them was a Y. Give us the other. God, that's a fucking horrible creature. Like a foreskin that grew legs. All right.
Yeah,
Or
but
have
give
fun
us
guessing with that.
give us the breakdown. How do other people go on the same journey as you guys? How do people get good and start farming bosses? Give us a little bit of that secret sauce that
How do
you
we do it,
guys.
Lance? I'll give my perspective after.
First, we need to have a right mindset. We have to know that we're about to get into some deep shit for like the next 48 hours.
Okay.
Like that is the mental that we need to be ready for. Like we may get kicked out, we may lose all of our progress, but we're gonna have to like trudge through it for the next 48 hours.
And you're
So,
talking about
how-
trudging through with noob gear, right? Just with bullshit.
Like it's gonna suck for the first time.
Yeah.
Like not fun.
So are you trying to go to certain rooms and loot certain chests? Are you trying to farm Skelly Champion first to get some decent shit before you even go down to hell? Are you doing bossless hell runs to get some decent loot before you even attempt Lich? Like what are you trying to do? Like what's the plan?
Normally first run is just trying to survive. That is
With shitty gray gear, yeah.
If you're trying to make it out with at least like 30 gold so that you can buy some potions, that's
Enough to get meds.
That's your first goal. Get enough meds so that you can go down the next time you try.
Fair.
Hell's important.
Okay, that makes sense.
You're gonna want to try and make sure like your teammate is alive. Like that's normally important. Normally I end up having my teammate die my first run.
Right.
Probably Kist played Bard.
Poor
He was
Kist.
sacrificed.
Bard was a mistake.
Oh my god. I hated the Bard music. Crazy.
I kind of like the Bard
because the
music.
music was so annoying.
I kind of like the Bard music.
You didn't like the music, dude. I thought it was sick,
I like it.
man.
Eventually, it gave me a headache, and
It
I
was the
was just
300th time is when I stopped liking it. It was
Yeah,
fair
it was
enough.
good the first couple times. Then it just got a little bit annoying.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Go on. I'm taking notes. Go on.
Our hell experiences.
Then the next like hurdle is like not separating from my teammates. Like that's honestly a personal problem because they loot so
remember those.
slowly. They loot so slowly. Like they don't understand.
I don't even loot. I don't even loot. And this man ran across the map one of those matches. I remember. Sorry. I've been.
Yeah, you gotta keep your tabs on Orlanthi. You'll get away from you quick.
I like if you follow me, you'll get a bunch of whites and grays. That's how it goes. Like there's gonna be a pile of whites and grays underneath me, and if you just follow the trail, you'll be fine. And
One
so
way to do it.
problem is I don't stick with my team for like the first couple of raids because I'm trying to find a weapon so that I can increase my own survivability and my teammates' survivability.
That makes
But
sense.
then a skeleton archer with a crossbow specifically points out Kist and decides that he's his next meal. And Kist will get like 2-tapped by that bitch. And that's like now I gotta res Kist.
Yeah.
I'll just get out instead. And then that kind of sets us back a little bit because I'm trying to like get myself better weapons and a little bit of gold. And then I'll go back in and then like the snowball starts. You just need to get enough money to get meds so that you don't waste all of your cleric's heals.
Are you
And then you can-
trying to avoid other players though? Like
No.
Oh, so you're just trying to chop people down as soon as you can.
No,
You take your snowball.
we're just trying to survive, and like if an opportunity arises where it's safe and smart to kill an enemy, we'll go for it. But
I see.
otherwise, it's not worth it. Like, why waste HP when you can't recover it?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, our clerics typically aren't running like 3-4 campfires like we would appreciate. So it's a bit more dubious to like heals are a bit more of a finite resource that we've got to make do with. And typically, when you're fighting the boss, there's a minimum required amount of what you're going to need to
Or
actually utilize that.
cleanses. You need at least like a bunch of heals or a couple of cleanses, or else you're gonna get fucked up during the boss fight.
So from
Cleanse requirement, one of your clerics needs to be running a boss-oriented setup, while one of your clerics is running a DPS-oriented setup. In my humble opinion,
You just need heals. That's it. Like you can just do it with pots, like the boss. Because in case you didn't know, when you get hit by the Lich's circle, it generally regens your HP, or at least a portion of your HP that you lost after you get hit by the circle.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really need to have heals for it. It's just increasing your survivability, less risk factor. You're able to breeze through the fight without like worrying that one of you guys is gonna get Hanseled and start magic missiling your buddy in the back.
Hey, I'm still holding on to that one.
Damn.
they will never forget.
I am petty. I
Shout
am
out
a-
Hansel.
I'm a very petty person. I will hold it to the grave until I get my revenge enough times.
I respect that. So, Kist, what from your perspective, like, what's the path to go from level 1 with Grays, trying to farm high roller bosses for unique items? What is like the clear cut path that typically is working for you guys, as from a cleric's perspective too, I suppose, if that helps?
Yeah,
But
I would say the main thing is you got to stay humble and just do some normals at the beginning and just get your cash stack where it needs to be. Just being able to go down there and kill the boss very quickly. Like the boss's drops are going to be purple at best. It's not a big deal. What's really a big deal is that loot behind him in that small room that you can start hitting over and over again. That's going to basically bankroll your first day. Is those normals?
The
loot
gold
hordes.
piles. Yeah.
And then I'd say the next most important thing is knowing who to kit first as a team. It's not like I've got my money, Orlanthi's got his money, James has his money, where Zanzibar's is James. We all have a team money, and we're all trying to, like, we kind of understand that Orlanthi needs to be kitted first compared to us, because he's going to be the guy that's actually receiving the blows. He's going to be the frontliner, and we need to have him in the best kit possible. Like, clerics, as say I'm running a cleric, but even a mage is a perfect unit on spawn. It doesn't need much more than just a spell book and all of his spells. Like, he's already got what he needs. So you want to put money where it's going to give you the largest returns, which in my humble opinion is going to be in our tank.
That makes so much sense.
Like piling money onto Orlanthi and into his kit so that he can become the snowball, and then we can start chopping down other people's snowballs and then just using that to fund.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the way I play with my friends, we're all out for our own gear. We kit ourselves out slowly as we can. But that makes sense. If you guys get good items, if you guys get gold, kit out Orlanthi so that you guys can stay alive, and then the snowball just keeps growing and growing and growing. That's great.
Another thing.
That's good.
I forgot to say this, but Kiss remind me. I'm not scared of death.
Faith in your clerics is a big one.
Yes, afraid of you, huh, Orlanthi?
I will run into a group fight. Like if there's two teams fighting, there's like both of them still alive, like both groups completely fully alive. I'll still run into the group, fully expecting to kill as many as I can. And knowing that even if I do die, I'm taking care of a problem that could hurt my teammates. Because if I let them like disperse and go their own way, we're gonna end up getting into the same situation they were in. Right. Where there's someone who's gonna come and third party us, and I don't want that. Like,
we pretty much just lay our lives down to keep Orlanthi alive.
And I'll lay down my life to keep them alive. That's how it goes. Like we fully expect that I will die if I do not get healed, and they will die if I do not get healed. So it's like we gotta keep them alive.
It revolves around keeping our main. It's just the composition of your team matters so much when it comes to a team fights, rather than like your individual ability.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when do you feel like you're prepared to start taking on normal lich? Everyone's got greens on. You guys are just feeling confident. You just go down to hell and you're like, fuck it, now's the time. Let's just do this, or what? Or am I looking too into it?
If you're running like double spell memory on your wizard, you're gonna generally have enough DPS to knock them out. But you could also do meditation and try to meditate mid-fight. I think in a base kit you could probably take out the lich as long as your team's pretty competent. A normal lich. I don't think there's any gear requirement you're really aiming for. I would say to go to high roller and doing the lich, there's a minimum gear requirement of like, from your DPS's perspective, who's like, if you're running two clerics like us and one DPS essentially, who's both the DPS and the tank, we need him in some good gear because our clerics, they're not going to be doing shit. But if we have a ranger and a wizard, then we can go in there with a bit more of a budget kit all around because the damage is just coming from the innate ability of these classes, like arrows. Ranger is a perfect class to start early because it is a brain dead thing to kill the lich with a ranger.
Yeah.
Compared to a wizard, which you have to meditate mid-fight, which can get dicey.
Okay, that makes sense.
Run out of the room.
If you have a fighter,
running out of the room is like so easy.
I need to find. You guys are basically saying I need to have a better team mindset, and I need to find a dedicated support and people that will keep me alive, and I will be fine. Got it. Okay.
It's more of just
pocket
having
healer. Fuck it, 2 pocket healers.
Two
and
pocket
down
healers
to play all
that
day.
feed
every
me
day.
loot. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I think I got it. I know
All
the
right, I'll be
secret
right
sauce.
back, boys. I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
No problem.
Continue talking.
Bankroll them though, they get a bit more willing. That's the thing. Like Orlanthi pays my bills that every single minute. Like I just log in one day and he say, "Hey, bro, here's your pulverizing prayer. Get at him. Let's get at him."
That's great. That's
And,
fun.
like, that's a great thing to wake up to.
the more they funnel into me, the more ends up coming back to them. So it's like
Yeah.
it really pays off in the short term and in the long run, because Kist will wake up. I'll be like, "Hey Kist, you want to play?" And he's like, "I don't got gear, bro." And I'm like, "You want a full unique set?"
God
it
damn
just-
you. Damn you.
Why haven't you given me anything nice?
Son of
Orlanthi?
a-
I thought we were chill.
I
bro.
was trying to
I'm doing
sell
all the
you.
editing. That's why I'm not playing. Is because we have to.
I can't afford it. I'm poor in that game. I'm serious.
That's hilarious.
So one of the things I tried to get to you, Jay, actually, was this crystal sword, but you said you didn't want it. It was
Oh, yeah, I
like
probably passed.
it was like plus free true magical, plus free magical power, plus 2 all attributes, plus spellcasting speed.
Did you give it
plus...
to Ken?
No, I vendored it.
Oh, rightfully so. Get that shit out of here.
Savage.
It was
These
like
wizards down.
it was a really good magic sword, and you didn't want it. And I'm like, oh, I guess it goes to the vendor.
You have to deny the wizards the capacity to kill us.
That's all
Wizards
right.
are really the
I
only thing that
vendored-
get us.
I have vendored many purple and legendary halberds, I'll have you know.
Hey, yo, just
Damn.
I was
Alright,
trying to
so
sell it to you. Hey, yo, wait. Just
No.
try and sell me those halberds. I actually go through hell trying to find a halberd I like.
Really? Okay, I'll remember them.
I love them. I always keep them when I
Uh,
find them.
That's
So-
the solo player life, man. I don't have 2 clerics. I have no gold. You know?
Well, I
kill
mean,
no
that's why you
bosses.
hold on to the halberds for me. They'll turn into
Oh,
gold.
true. I wouldn't sell you, and I would totally just give them to you, by the way.
Yeah,
You know,
and
100 gold or
like,
something.
after a raid, after a successful high roller, I'll be like, "Hey Jay, you want 1,000 gold? I don't have room."
Oh.
By the way, if you
Yeah,
guys
well,
have like blue items you
rain.
don't want, I'll pick them up for you. Just let me
Let me know.
just throw your blues my way. I'll take
A
them.
little extra gold on the side, you know? Yeah. Look Soma up.
Honestly,
I
it's
don't think
gonna
I've
be
ever given you
concerning.
anything, Soma.
Honestly,
You gave
my
me something
problem-
once. You did.
My
Oh.
real problem is storage.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
bet.
sure.
If
Yeah.
they don't have the premium currency on EA, like if we don't have candy canes or candy corn, who knows? Like holding a lot of money is going to become like an actually.
I'll be
hard
fucked.
task.
I'll be
You're
fucked.
just not going to
Yeah.
be able to be rich.
Well, they'll have it's not just going to be
Fair.
gold pouches though. To be fair, they're going to have chests and other ways to
yeah,
hold
I-
gold.
I already
So-
knew about those, but
Yeah.
like it's for economy reasons they don't have them in yet, which I completely
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, I honestly
Agreed.
agree with the fact
I
that they're
think
not
it's
in the
fine
game.
without it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a
Yeah.
good
Okay,
idea. I'll let
okay,
you get
Solo.
Giga rich.
Okay, Solo, don't destroy my mentality like that. I need to get
We're
rich.
already-
I need to get richer.
What?
We're gonna have stacks of chests by the end of this, and you're not gonna be as willing to give me money if you have a chest to put it in.
Yeah,
No.
it's-
I'll be kissed. I'll be able to buy like better gear, more gear, make you stronger until you do like 700 damage a hit. That's an exaggeration, by the way. But
700 damage hit. I'm sure you could
That's
figure out how
true.
to pull it off.
Pulverizing prayer and make it a reality.
oh yeah, that's so true. Have
So-
you like combat swap to a Warmaw?
God, Warmaul is so fucking. It's powerful, but it's not fun to use.
I love it.
Do you
You
really?
should
Ends
just
up-
treat the whip width of the bottom of the stick as if it's like
The
a
right
wind up
click?
animation, and then it starts to make a bit more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so before we move on to Q&A here to finish off the episode, I just wanted to ask one more question to kickstart the Q&A. When Warlock drops in the next playtest or EA, are you guys going to put away your mains to try out Warlock, or what's the plan with that? I personally cannot fucking wait for Warlock. I'm very excited. What are your
I did the
plans?
same thing with Bard, and just giving a shot to Bard, and it got me laughed out of the raids for the whole first day. So it's a bit in trouble to maybe go Warlock. I don't want to get laughed out the party again, but I mean, buff
Oh,
ball
this is
such a
assuming that
powerful meta.
Warlock is farther along than Bard was when Bard dropped, because Bard was
Has
very
more than
bare
the-
bones, right? Yeah, exactly. Let's
yeah, Bard might
assume
be
Warlock is farther along when it comes out. But that
I
being
could
said,
see debuff ball becoming as much of a meta as buff ball was. So I might give it a shot, depending on what actual debuffs they're really offering here. It's going to be very much up to the class. See if it's actually a support class or if it's a bit more of a single target DPS thing. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, Warlock, I mean, I'm a fucking huge nerd, D&D nerd. I'll tell you right now, Warlock is typically a selfish class. Like, it's a lot of self buffs, defensive buffs, lots of burst damage, control. Like, it can dominate a monster or a humanoid fucking with it. Really high damaging cantrips like Eldritch Blast that they can freely cast that does really, really powerful damage. So Warlock is going to be a blaster.
Like a spammy mage type of beat rather than I thought it was going to be more of a debuff identity, but that makes more sense.
That could be the case too. There could be, hexes and curses or whatever, but I can see the Warlock being really, really good for solo players or just a really good blaster, heavily offensive class. Whereas Wizard is kind of a jack of all trades, right? They can buff ball someone, they can buff ball themselves, they can go invisible and ignite a dagger and play like a magical rogue. They can just be a fucking bruiser with arcane. I can't remember the name of the skill, but they can take a few hits with whatever that arcane armor is. They can, they can destroy people with magic missile, with fireballs. They can be blasters. They can be buffers. They have a lot in their kit that's unique to them. But Warlock, my guess is that
out nearly as much because you're just listed 10 different playstyles from a mage. You think Warlock's gonna have that many different?
No. Warlock. I don't think Warlock will have that many playstyles. I think they will be more suited to dealing damage and not really buffing their friends very much. They'll buff themselves.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, that's what I
don't need more buffs in the game.
They'll be tossing on Armor of Agathis, which will give them temporary HP. So if they have 100 base health, if they cast that spell and it lasts 30 seconds, they have 120 health now for the next 30 seconds. So they get this temporary HP that will pad them out a little bit. And if someone hits them while Armor of Agathis is on, they're going to take cold damage every time they get hit with melee or something like that. That's the kind of shit that Warlocks do. Or they have Hellish Rebuke. If someone shoots you with an arrow or hits you with a sword, the reaction spell, Hellish Rebuke, sees the Warlock igniting the person that just hit them with fire, and they would take damage over time or something like that.
Like a vengeance.
So okay, like a thorns or something.
Yeah.
That's the kind of... And then obviously they'll be, really... powerful at range with Eldritch Blast or whatever their spells are, their cantrip is. If we even get cantrips, which would be amazing. But I think Warlock is going to be super sick. I think I could see Jay switching to Warlock and being a solo Warlock and crushing it.
But, I don't know. Jay seems to enjoy the masochism of sticking to Wizard. There's something about that badge that Jay just loves.
Do you know how big your wiener is when you're on a Wizard class? Do I need to say anything else, dude?
What I lack in physical strength, I make up for in my phallic member.
I gotta be careful sitting back in my chair sometimes when I'm running through the lobbies on that class.
That's just because you're so weighted in the front half of your crouch, It's difficult.
Yeah.
Orlanthi, are you going to play Warlock, or are you just going to stick to being a cinder-wielding god?
So I will be starting as fighter. If it's EA, I will be, or any playtest, I'll be playing fighter for the first month.
He said, or any playtest.
Yeah, in general,
so basically, you're a fighter. Got it.
If I can touch the video game.
Yeah, but the plan is eventually to make collaborations, trying to learn characters with people who are really good at that class, because on both sides it's good content to get this fucking fighter loser has no idea how to play this class. I'm teaching this fool how to play.
That could actually be a fun YouTube series. That could be fun to watch on your YouTube.
Because I have barely touched any other class except for creating them. Or jokingly creating them.
Got it.
Joke.
So you make a new character and you park it at level 1 and you just go back to your fighter. Okay.
It is now a stash bot.
Okay.
I just think it's something fun for me to do, genuinely not fake reactions. I don't like that idea. It seems like it would get repetitive and boring, but oh shit, I didn't know I could do that.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you can pet Otto the best as fighter. So
Why?
With your metal covered hands. I'm sure Otto fucking loves that. Yeah. Okay, so let's dig into some Q&A for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. I'm sure chat has some questions, especially for the two of you. Chat, please give us your opinions, your questions. What do you guys got for us or for our lovely guests? Don't be shy, nerds. And yeah, someone said in chat, how does this fucker know all these spell names? Nerd. I've been playing D&D for over 20 years. I have so much useless nerd knowledge in my brain. It's not good. Like, I could have passed fucking Algebra 2 in high school if I didn't know every fucking unique item in Diablo 2. But I chose my path, right? So, but anyway.
There's only so much room in your noggin, man.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
I learned all the rune words instead of algebra.
Basically, yeah. What you got, Jay?
Uber, what do you start on? Rogue? Cleric, typically? Probably cleric these days.
I mean, it's kind of been a fill for me. I'm just like the team Phil. If I feel like we're going to be doing a lot of bossing, I'll go wizard as long as just depending on what our.
So you play it all.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say like my main three classes are rogue, wizard, and cleric, but rogue's fallen out of vogue just in terms of damage capacity and output, and its tankiness is a bit shoddy.
Rogue, really?
I feel like Rogue was the most played last playtest.
I did play a little bit of rogue just because ruins was so much fun as a rogue. Like,
I bet it was.
Bounce around, surfing around like
Son
you're
of a
playing
bitch.
only up, basically. It was a pretty good time.
Yeah, I bet it was fun.
But, and wizard, what really initially attracted me to wizard was the dagger wizard that Fluffy Koala, I think, kind of coined on Playtest 3. That was, you just stab them up with an ignited dagger. That was so much fun.
Apollo as well. Yeah, Apollo had some amazing,
shout out Apollo.
amazing
Play a lot of
ignite
Star
daggers.
Stitcher
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he's cool. Okay, so looks like we have some questions. Let's start with BDMX. Do you think High Roller will ever implement a class limit, as in only one of each class max per team? I personally don't
like
think
Overwatch.
so. I don't think they would do that, but do you guys think that?
I think it would be kind of not necessary, but I could see why they would do it. For these fucking guys, who double cleric fighter, named weapon, full legendary, yeah. But no, I think it's a decent option. I prefer
It could happen. I could definitely see it happen, depending on how some of the classes, maybe if there's some sort of self-stacking. Like, I know back in the day, you could have 3 clerics all start blessing each other in a circle, and it would scale infinitely, and you could become god clerics just by having like done a little bless circle, a little circle bless.
Wow.
So maybe if some things like that start popping up that don't seem fixable to them, yeah, I could see it happening.
Sure.
Wow.
I used to think triple ranger was like a big problem, so I think that's kind of not a thing anymore. Double ranger even is super insane. Yeah. What were you saying, Orlanthi?
I don't think they would do that. Like, that ruins the fun of like party building.
Sure.
Yeah,
I could see them not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. Hunter Brawl asks for Uber and Orlanthi, what named weapons would you like in the game? We kind of covered that. Pavis and Spellbook. Pavis would make you some invincible god because you're rich. Screw you, Orlanthi. That's not cool. And Uberkist said a Spellbook, kind of like what has been suggested in the past, like an extra spell slot or something like that. I agree.
But I also just like something that just like some sort of auto attacking staff seems like a great idea. Just because the like staff is dog shit.
Yeah,
just in general. Yeah, a wand.
Yep, a firebolt cantrip, a firebolt cantrip on a wand or the magic staff that you have to reload, much like a ranger has to reload his recurve bow or longbow after 5-6 shots, and it does no damage over time, but just low base magic damage. Makes so much sense to me, and I hope they decide to do that. EDN Gravy says, thoughts on a mode for new casual players where everyone is forced to have default gear. That's a hard hell no from me right off the bat.
Sounds like a battle royale.
But I'll let you guys answer, please.
I mean, I could see that being fun, but splitting the queues any further is always a dangerous game in these sorts of genres. So I would have to vote no, but it's basically just a battle royale at that point, which I've always thought these sorts of games lend themselves well to just innately, but You can just do a 0 to hero run.
Yeah, exactly. Schmellet has a question for you, Orlanthi. Why do you prefer going for veteran adventurer over any other leaderboard?
Treasure collector.
Treasure collector. But I like the idea of gold. I love gold. It's pretty, it's shiny.
Okay.
It's not something that you can get as easily by cheating. So like I don't have to worry about like a cheater trying to take my spot on the leaderboard for it, because getting treasure is just so much harder. And honestly, it's probably better for my teammates than just going for kills, because if I'm getting rich, they're getting rich, and their gear is getting paid for. Like, it just works out well for.
It's fun to be
our team.
rich.
It's
sure
truly
it is.
like I know, like it may seem like, oh yeah, I get a lot of gold. I spend the most gold in the game. I don't think anyone spends more gold in the game than me.
I would spend more gold than you if I ever had it.
Yeah, but you gotta live to get that.
That's true. Damn you. Damn
Well, you
you.
gotta have 2 pocket healers, an entire stream.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just the prep.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, it's also one of those things that where it's fun to me, and that's what really matters. I'm not playing to like
Be the best.
no, I'm not trying to play to get like my dick hard over like, oh my god, I wiped that entire lobby, bro.
That's what
I
that's
am
what
the
I want.
greatest.
Yeah, that actually gets my dick hard.
That gets my EP quivering, dude. Are you kidding me? That's what I want.
No,
I'll take all that. You can go farm your gold.
I am
I think
going
Zeke
to.
had a good question. They said, if you are all into lore, so I was curious, would you all ever hope for something like a campaign in the game?
No,
I
would
think quests would
like-
just be better, right?
I feel like having a tutorial explain why you're going into like whatever class you're choosing, and like having you go into a easier dungeon to like learn. I think that would be fun, honestly, like to explain how the game lore starts and get you like kind of hooked on a certain character, to keep playing and learn more about that character's lore and why they got into it.
A bit like Dark
That could be
Souls, where they
interesting.
drop a little bit of tidbits of knowledge on you, a bit subtly rather than just exposition dumping at you.
Why'd you choose Ranger? Because like make you question why you picked that class yourself. Like, do you have fun on it? Do you like this play style? Do you see yourself actually doing this? That just would seem like a great way to get a dedicated player base, and honestly have them invested on where the game's going to go more. Like,
yeah, I think you're onto something. I think having like a slight preview of what the just overall lore is, what the story is, why you guys are even going into the dungeon is cool. But if there was some sort of tutorial, and I don't know if I agree with tutorials, but if there was some sort of class specific tutorial for each one, and maybe a preview of class based quests only tied to fighters, or a quest that's only for wizards, whatever, that is a unique experience and thing you have to do in the dungeon, that if that tutorial leads to that, that could be really exciting. And yes, I think people would get married to their class and their class fantasy even more so than they already are. Like, some people are diehard rogues. Jay's like the wizard guy. Orlanthi, you're known as the giant walking tank with Cinder. I think if there was class quests, a tutorial to get you connected to it for new players, then yes, I think that would help connect new players to the game even faster and solidify that connection faster.
Another thing they could do is like, so latex monkey nuts, so bad strange, they've been engraved into like their own little Easter egg. Add them to like.
So you're saying you want
history.
streamer items?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that like explain like what they did and how they succeeded in that class.
That'd be kind of
So
cool.
that
Like a
you
little
Lore it
tribute.
up a bit, like pretend like there's some sort of knights in shining armor type shit.
That way, like
They're
people
baked
who
into the lore.
put time and like the original explorers like of this class to follow in the footsteps of your choice. That could honestly be cool, and it would honestly drive together the content creation community to be intertwined more, which I think would be fun.
That could be cool. Z-Spa has a question for you guys as well. What is your favorite map and why? And in that map, what is your favorite room or location to farm in or fight in?
Lich room.
Okay.
Lich room.
So you like going down to hell?
I think that's my favorite room because there's a gold horde. I can get an artifact. Like, I'm happy.
Honestly, the treasure hoard on the Crypts map in that, I think it might be Crypt 2. That is where I think I saw the best fight ever with Orlanthi using Fulgore and just holding out against a team of like two mages and a fighter, and it's just an absolute war. It was one of the longest fights I've ever seen. That's what I really played.
Talking
this
about that
game for,
video,
was
what he's
really good. Yeah, where he's just holding the door.
Excellent
like,
video.
and
Yeah,
swapping between it. Like the comms were amazing. It seemed, and it's just like those are the fights that I live for in these games.
Honestly, that's why I play fighter with a Pavis. Like, I was protecting our cleric when he was rezzing our ranger.
that's right. Yeah.
Like, the enemy could not get past me. I was a wall.
That was a badass fucking video. That moment in the video was.
I honestly
very
It's
cool.
my favorite fight I've ever seen.
I loved Kiss editing on it because it just really put into emphasis how cocky I was trying to be with that like god tier gear, challenging the gods themselves to send hell against me.
And every time
They
that
certainly
door
do.
opened, that epic music playing was a cherry on top too. That was great.
Yeah, that was such an epic fight to watch.
Yeah,
But
that
for
was
that
good.
reason, like I think that room really brings a lot of good combat. It's just like one way in, one way out. You got to earn the reward.
I am still pissed about how bad the Colosseum's gold key room was comparatively to other treasure hoards. Like, why is it so dog shit? Why am I getting cracked? I'm in high roller. Stop giving me cracked. I didn't come to high roller to get crack shit. If I
That's
wanted
hilarious.
crack shit, I would be in the solos.
And the
I'm
placement
not-
of that one's so much more dubious. It's like all the way up top. Like, very scary to get to. Areas. It seems like
Real
should be the-
exposed, dude.
yeah, exactly. It's so exposed compared to the other one.
You know, speaking of
Central
solos, Wilson's Game, he was our guest last week. He asks, do these two ever grind solo? Do you ever do Goblin Caves or any solo shit?
Did a little bit just to see what the cave goblin was about, and I got myself handed to the gods several times over until I decided it just wasn't for me. It's hard to jump over. The cheeses were weird, and they kept patching the cave goblin. So trying to find a consistent setup was a bit brutal.
So I tried it once, I think, and it was during a playtest where there was no high rollers or anything. And the main reason I did it was to try and get like solid screenshots of the statues and if there's writing on them to find out if there's a god or whatever to worship them. And a little bit of digging there came up with some results. Not going to spoil it for our lore nerds, but it was interesting, and I just feel like it's something I should do later on.
DM me on Discord. I want to know.
No, you find out yourself.
Okay.
You find out yourself.
You got to give
Damn
us
it.
enough breadcrumbs to find out.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's take maybe a couple more questions here. It is getting late. You guys are on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
I can stay up inevitably, but once I pass out, you're not waking me up.
It'll be 3-4 days.
Babe, wake up. There's a free cinder waiting for you. You're not gonna
Oh,
wake up? You're not gonna
I'm-
wake up? Are you sure?
I'm
Babe, wake
still
up. One of the Dark and
like
Darker
rock.
clones came out.
If you baited him like that, he'd never forgive you.
I really wouldn't. I would hold it like the grudge I have with Hansel.
Wilson asks, thoughts on current leaderboard. What will they do if it doesn't exist? What do you mean by that, Wilson? Like, if they removed it, what would be the new grind for the best players, I guess, is what you're asking? But yeah, I mean, let's just ask that. What's your thoughts on the leaderboard? Do you think it's fun to grind for that? I know earlier you said you don't care about being at the top of the leaderboard, but it is nice seeing your name up there, right?
It's required. I genuinely think it's required because as they have it, normals and high rollers. The high rollers are trying to fight to be on there. Like that is the true reason why you're in high rollers instead of rolling normal lobbies.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me for sure.
You need to have some kind of reward for going into high roller that other people can see. Like, holy shit, that Bard has 20 fucking kills. Holy shit.
Fixatious.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Bob's just said in chat, if there wasn't one, what would you do? I mean, I guess you would just play. But yeah, I think
you were just going to normals and wipe normal lobbies. It's not fun.
Yeah,
it feels like bullying.
That leaderboard, I think, is important. Yeah,
I don't know. The leaderboard's really only a thing to like 40 people, 50 people, like most. You know, outside of that, like they're not even within shot. So, how does the other 99.9% of the game play? Right? Probably means nothing to them.
I honestly feel like they could add like, instead of like, I know they don't want to add a battle pass or anything like that, but seasonal rewards for like getting to top during that wipe. Or in the top percentile during that wipe, that'd be really cool. Yeah. And even just a participation prize for going into high roller at least once during that wipe would be something that would like make people try it out.
That's not a bad idea. That's actually a good idea. Like you maybe not so soft, but maybe you get like something for doing 10 high rollers in that particular season or something like that.
Yeah, that would just
encourages you to run a few.
And it would like get people to actually get into the hardcore part of the game.
Yeah,
fair.
That way,
be good. Incentivize them.
If you still want to play normals, you can still play normals. But after that, you at least have this cool thing you earned for trying it out.
Sure.
Like, and hell, you could like wipe my team, find like a bunch of cool shit, be like, I gotta do this again. Like, it's just. It would bring the player base to keep striving to be better. Like, there's a casual side and there's a competitive side, and both of them can have fun with this.
Without the leaderboards, I'd say the sweats would start spilling into normals and killing the population just off like gear differencing people who are new.
I'm gonna be completely honest. The moment Aqua FPS goes with the high roller, I need to hunt him down. I need to get revenge.
Shots fired.
Wait, did Aqua kill you?
Not on Dark and Darker. On Escape from Tarkov.
Wow.
I was on a shitty 1050. No TI with 2 VRAM.
You went down the Aqua.
I could only play Nighttime Factory. And you want to know who was playing Nighttime Factory dressed as Captain Price?
I'm guessing Aqua FPS.
And you want to know who was put in the opening scene credit of getting killed?
Oh,
this garage is being held right now. I remember I had the name Wandering Ronin, and I was just trying to mind my own business. Kill a couple scavs, have a little bit of fun.
No one gets to mind their own business in Factory.
This is Tarkov. Go fuck yourself.
Come on. Factory is a place of brawling.
Factory is disgusting.
That is the Thunderdome. You're damn right.
That's why I played on nighttime, because my PC couldn't handle daytime.
That's where the sweaty Factory players
That's the sweatiest.
Go play offline with your 2 VRAM. All right. Factory's the Thunderdome. Nighttime Factory is the sweaty night vision Thunderdome.
Yeah, even crazier.
Yeah. You know,
just come out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy, but
that's hilarious. Okay,
still holding that vendetta.
Say again.
What?
I'm still holding that vendetta. It goes to the grave.
I hope you get a chance to kill him. I hope you get your chance, man. I hope you get your chance. Chat, any final questions before we head out of here? I know Donnie had to go like 9 minutes ago, so we should probably wrap up here, but give us maybe one final question, something juicy and good. What do you guys got? Oh yeah, I guess the one question that we need to bring up is we were promised foot cam. Where's the foot cam, Orlanthi?
Oh, you genuinely promised a foot cam from
me?
Yeah. Somebody kept saying that was gonna happen. I don't know.
It was promised.
That's absolutely crazy. I don't want to show my dogs. Like,
let's see. Is that what you call your feet because they're that hairy?
Oh no, I have no hair on my feet. It sucks.
You got hair on your feet, Soma.
No, not at all. No, I'll show you my feet right now. Yeah, my
A little
feet
bit
are.
off the top.
Yeah,
You-
a couple
okay.
strands, you know.
Kist has some hair. My feet are. I have no hair on my feet at all.
No.
Okay.
So my feet, I don't want them getting fetishized. I think I'm good. I think I am good.
This is
Yeah, no
awkward
free
FPS
content.
stream territory to start demanding body parts.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
god.
All right, we'll leave you alone then. That's fine. Okay. No feet.
I tried to get this man to show his face millions of times.
No, it's okay. You can just be the deep voice. That
I
doesn't have a
think me
face.
not
Keep it up
showing
to
my
imagination.
face is honestly better. Like you can imagine me however you want. probably-
Okay.
My anime character.
Wow.
I have my helmet on, and we bing chilling.
Okay.
Just imagine me with a helmet and really long hair.
Oh,
Um,
I have hair that goes down like my entire back. It's like mixed brown and long
Jesus.
and wavy.
Wow.
And
That's
that is
crazy.
why I will never show myself. I don't want to become one of them pretty boys on stream. Like, you know what they did to Jay Schlatt? I don't want that happening. Don't
Look like
make
Y2K.
fan cams. I can't have that happening.
Okay, fair enough. If you get a haircut, then turn it on. How about that?
I don't think I'm gonna get a haircut anytime soon. So
Okay,
That's how you get it so long.
fair enough. By the way, big shout out to Skelly Bowman, who's in chat. He's the one that created that new intro that we saw earlier. Thank you again, Skelly Bowman. You're the man. So
Yeah, thank you,
Your
Skelly.
intro.
that shit was
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys, this was fucking great. It was very fun to have you both on. Thank you both so much for joining us. This was really fun.
Hell yeah, dude. It's always nice chatting with
thanks,
the fellow homies.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Wonderful. Okay, Donnie, where can people find you on the internet machine?
I have a YouTube. I don't post. Maybe one
Don't
day.
say it. Don't say
it. But you can find me on Twitch, DuhDonnie on Twitch. It's 2 E's. And sometimes I stream Red Dead Roleplay at the moment. So that's fun. But other than that, that's about it.
Beautiful. Mr. Griffyuh.
Nice. JayGriffyuh on Twitch and YouTube.
All right. Easy.
Mhm.
Uberkist.
You can find me and Orlanthi on my YouTube channel, Uberkist. I'm also starting a little bit of streaming, mostly just Star Siege Dead Zone while we wait for Dad to come back.
I lurk in there sometimes.
Nice.
You guys are
Ooh,
crushing that game. I'll say hi next
fun.
time. Awesome. Mr. Orlanthi.
Twitch.tv/Orlanthi. And I stream when I find a game that's actually fun.
I fucking hear you on that, dude.
Fair.
Yeah,
We're fair
that's-
weather streamers, man.
Dude, I get it though. It's hard fucking streaming and being on when you're not enjoying the game you're playing. It's
I'm not
fucking
gonna
torture.
force myself to play a game and try and make it seem like I'm having fun when I'm not.
Here, fucking here. I hear you on
What's wrong with that?
that. Poor Jay.
Do you have
Oh.
fun? Do you have fun? How are you feeling
of
about
course.
playing Rocket
It's
League?
always fun.
You having fun
I
on a
love
Rocket, League?
League. I'm at like a top couple percent rank, dude. It's fun.
Damn, no way.
Okay.
All right.
All right, he's a wizard in the Rocket League car as well. I love it. I like it.
I
I
was scammed into playing Power Wash Sim though. You know, a little miserable.
oh, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
It was actually
about
fun.
that.
It was fun. I'll be
Really?
ASMR in a
Yeah,
game.
it was
about that.
okay. I thought it was gonna be miserable, and I hopped on. I was like, okay. Nice and
actually
shiny now.
addicted.
Yeah.
Okay. I am at Soma on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and at _Soma on YouTube. That's where you can find this podcast. Jay also throws the podcast up sometimes, and I also do like nerdy tabletop shit on Roll20. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Wait,
dude.
what?
Hmm?
Here's an idea. Why don't we have a Dark and Darker Roll20 game?
You know what?
We've talked
Okay.
about this.
I have talked about this
God.
before. Okay, I'm so happy you just said that. I think it'd be sick as fuck if there was a 5e D&D campaign where you role played your Dark and Darker character in the RP, and it was some campaign around the tavern and the ruins, and you somehow factor in the Ghost King and the Lich, and then when you go into combat, you cut to a Dark and Darker raid, and you actually role play as your characters as you're in the raid on comms. And then whenever you leave the
That's
dungeon,
awesome.
you go back into Roll20 and RP.
Hmm.
How
Yeah,
fucking
sign me
sick
up.
would that
That's
be?
fun.
Donnie's like, get me the fuck out of here.
Hey.
I think it would be cool as fuck. It would be very hard
awesome.
to pull off, but I think it'd be
I'm
fun.
still a little bit pissed about my last Dungeons and Dragons sessions. I rolled 4 nat ones in a row. I'm not mentally okay after that. I am genuinely not okay.
When the dice is mean to you, it does hurt. Absolutely.
I literally I renamed my dice after that Nat 1-onator. And
The Nat 1-onator.
it just kept rolling, and I don't believe in changing my dice because I just find it to be a waste.
After 4 nat ones, I'd fucking throw those things in the trash.
I honestly probably
out of them.
Still can't believe I rolled 4 nat ones.
No, you melt those dice down, you make a new dice. That's what you do. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This was awesome. I've been a fan of what you guys do in Dark and Darker for a while, so it was a pleasure speaking with you boys. Thank you so much for joining us. Donnie and Jay,
thank you guys.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate the chance to come on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We'll do this again. There's still many
Hear
episodes.
more about the patterns. And the,
Yeah, I want to hear
things.
lore patterns and shit next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you guys so much, chat. Thank you so much for watching as always. The next episode is likely going to be Sunday the 16th or maybe Tuesday the 18th, depending on work schedules and what people are doing, but it'll happen in the next week. So yeah, this has been episode 24 of The Darkest Hour. We'll see you next time for another episode, and thanks so much. Have a good week. Cheers. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
But
Peace.
you know what we should have done? I should have had you like turn off the camera every time I spoke, so people would still believe we're different.
I have no evidence that we're different people.
Like they still don't know I'm a different person.
Like
Like
this is
I've
the
been
most evidence that we're different people we've ever provided.